There's been a wild amount of weird NBA moments throughout the league's history. These are some of the weirdest moments that we could find. It's only right to start this off with one of the most unnecessary moments in league history. The Portland Trail Blazers were going up against the New Orleans Pelicans in this game. There was less than 1 second left in the first half, but a scuffle broke loose that needed to get cleaned up before everybody headed down to the locker rooms. While the referees were trying to break everybody up, cameras caught this one official with his hand way too low on Evan Turner. Not only that, but it actually looks like he squeezed his hand as well, just to make it all 10 times weirder. Plus, there wasn't any Pelicans player that close to Turner, so honestly, he didn't need to be wrapped around him whatsoever at the time. Definitely a creepy moment by that official. Another weird moment in our league's history came back when the Brooklyn Nets were playing the Toronto Raptors. Brooklyn was up by 13 points with 7.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. As it stood, they looked like they were on their way to a big victory. Brooklyn found themselves at the free throw line, and while the shot was about to be taken, a referee literally sprinted onto the floor and jumped up to block the shot. That's not a joke. He jumped up to the guy and slapped the top of the ball to block the shot. Now, I honestly have no clue why in the world he even did that. Even if he just forgot to set something up, he could have easily just whistled the play dead and had him stop before shooting the ball. In fact, it could have been easier than running out and trying to turn into Shaquille O'Neal out there. The next one came during a game between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Atlanta Hawks. Jimmy Butler was knocked down as Alex Len attempted a layup, and he wasn't happy. He was laying on his back, but trying to get up and go after Len at the same time. That was when TJ McConnell literally grabbed him and slid him all the way backwards to the top of the paint to get him away from Len. I guess that's one way to do it. Now, you aren't going to see this very often. Derek White was driving into the paint and he dished it to the corner for a wide-open Bryn Forbes. Forbes rose up to take the easy shot attempt when De'Aaron Fox decided that he was going to hustle all the way over for a contest. White was in his way, so he tried to jump past him to block the shot. Instead, he jumped on top of him and basically tackled him into Forbes for a confusing 4-point play. Some said it was an offensive foul, while others believed it was simply a standard defensive one. Well, there isn't much I can do to defend this one. During the middle of a game, Dwight Howard thought that it would be a great idea to walk over, grab the head of a referee, and kiss him on the top of his head. Yep, I didn't make any of that up. That's a real moment in league history. Probably the weirdest part of it all, the official knew it was coming and didn't even do anything about it. There's also this time when a random bird wound up inside the stadium. He suddenly showed up on the cameras during the middle of a game when he flashed across the screen. The game had to be stopped for a second while the Spurs mascot whipped out a very large net to try and catch him and take him back outside. It's not every day you see a coyote try to track down a bird during an NBA game. This is probably the strangest play in league history to date. The Rockets were up by 3 points against the Knicks with just 1 minute remaining in the game. Eric Gordon quickly went to check the ball into PJ Tucker, who just stood there and avoided the ball while staring at it. Gordon couldn't believe what was happening as he watched it roll into the hands of a Knicks player who scored again. Who knows what in the world he was thinking on this play. Frustration is normal in the NBA. Sometimes your emotions just get the best of you. In this case, James Harden tried to angrily bounce the ball off the ground, and it resulted in him hitting himself in the face with it. What makes this moment even better is that Josh Hart was just staring at him in shock from that strange thing he just saw happen right in front of his eyes. It's like he saw a ghost. This next play is the epitome of if you don't try it, you never know if it will work. Kyle Lowry was sizing up George Hill with the ball in his hands near the half-court line. After scanning the floor, he randomly decided to run under Hill's legs. Not just bounce the ball through his legs and keep going. No, he tried to genuinely bend down and crawl through his legs. Unfortunately, got caught up doing it and fell to the ground, while Hill and the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks couldn't look more confused. For me, this is the first time that I've ever seen something like this happen. Steph Curry hit a three-pointer and went over to try to give Draymond Green a high five. While they were walking over to each other, Aaron Gordon was trying to walk to his bench. He was right in between the two and ran into Draymond, but neither of them got out of the way. So as the two players tried to give each other a high five, Gordon stood in between them and started to push Draymond back toward his bench while the two just laughed. Sometimes you just get off to a bad running start. In this overtime game between the 76ers and the Hornets, Kelly Oubre just wasn't able to get a good handle on the ball. Joel Embiid easily won the tip in overtime, but Oubre surprised Philadelphia by sprinting over and stealing it away. As he had a wide-open layup to score the first points in overtime, he completely blew the shot and shocked the entire crowd. It shouldn't be that hard to spell out a player's name on the back of a jersey, yet for these New York Knicks players, that isn't guaranteed. Emmanuel quickly saw the camera zoom in on him toward the end of the first quarter of a game against the Detroit Pistons. When they did, they noticed something was off in his jersey. Further review of it realized that his last name was incorrectly spelled Quisickly. Like, seriously? Nobody noticed the misspelling before the game started or said anything about it? The next weird moment was during the NBA Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. David West and Tristan Thompson just started to go at it with one another late in the game, and it resulted in a heated scuffle. However, in the middle of the fight, it genuinely looked like their lips touched because they were so close. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not normally what you do in the middle of a fight during the most heated moments in a game. Moving on, this next weird play involves Carmelo Anthony back when he was on the Denver Nuggets. Most NBA players fall down and stay there to sell the hit a little bit, but Melo straight went to sleep. Throughout an entire possession, Anthony was just lying flat on his back without moving while other players continued playing around him. You don't see this every day. Next, we have the time when a stalker literally walked out onto the court in the middle of an NBA playoff despite being banned from the stadium. That's right, she found a way to sneak onto the court despite stalking numerous players on the Denver Nuggets. Plus, the weirdest part about it was that she didn't look like she even had a plan for doing it. She just wandered out like she was lost and had to be pulled away from the action. And finally, we come to the 16th weirdest moment in NBA history. This was when Charles Barkley challenged a 67-year-old referee to a race on the basketball court. On the last lap, Charles started to run backwards, and ironically, both of these men fell down at the exact same time. But that wasn't all. The two actually had a lip-to-lip kiss afterwards that just made it that much weirder. Bottom line, we've had a ton of very strange moments in the NBA's long and extended history. Chances are, we'll be seeing a lot of other weird things happen in the next couple of years. That's all for today, guys. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and press that bell icon for any new updates. See you in the next one.